Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we are on the HermitCraft server. Once again, it's good to see you all here. You're still enjoying my LP episodes, which is great to see. Got an awesome feedback on the last one, so massive thank you for that. Now in today's episode, we are going to be working on the mob spawner once again. We're going to be doing all the little details and things like that. For example, I did mention that I have to be way up above the mob spawner for it to work efficiently. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be building the platform up there. We want it to look nice and extravagant because we're going to have a nether portal up there. And it's kind of going to be the main entrance to the base. Now we're also going to work on this section. So this is where all the mobs will fall. We want a nice base around here as well. And we're going to be working on a base on the ground floor level. Now I don't know if we're going to do all of that in today's episode, because that seems like a hell of a lot of work, but we are going to try our best to get all of that done. Now, I really can't remember how I get down from here. Oh, here we are. So, yeah, what we're essentially going to do is down at the bottom anyway, we are going to be creating a sorting system. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to do that part in today's episode because it requires a lot of hoppers that I don't have. Quite a lot of people are using the iron from the iron farm, which is fine by me because that's what it's there for. So, we might have to make a personal iron farm. While we're like AFKing for drops, it will also be running here, which may seem like a good idea. I don't know. Haven't really thought about it yet. But anyway, we are going to be going up to the top for the first part of this episode, and I'll see what I can do. But the first thing that we're going to be doing in this episode is setting myself up with a proper branch mine. Now I am going to be making that the center point of the lower floor base, but for the minute we're just going to do a temporary one because this is how many resources I've got. These are all the things that I've got to my name. I've even almost run out of jungle wood, which is pretty insane considering, you know, we did take out half of the rainforest, but a lot of it did go into that, so I suppose that does make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 4x4 hole all the way down to floor 11, and then I'm just going to start stripping out the entire area around it. I'm tempted to not even do a branch mine, just strip it all out completely, but I don't know if that's more efficient or not. By the look of things, ladies and gentlemen, we have found ourselves an abandoned mineshaft, and I don't know whether to be happy or worried about that. It looks fairly open, which means that we have already got quite a lot of stuff cleared out, but what it does mean is we've got mobs about the place. That's great. I'm gonna die. Ah! Oh god, no. I'm gonna have to rage quit. Jesus. Woo! That was so close. I don't know if I should be moving yet, actually. That's a good point. I'm 2.5 hearts. Don't want to get my ass handed to me. But let's just take a look at the scenery. This looks absolutely awesome. But I'm just really wary of any mobs that may be around. I'm going to regen my health for a little bit. I want to know what's over there. I think that might just be a lighting glitch. Damn. But I guess what this means is that we have a possibility for an XP grinder, like directly beneath our world, which is great. We can get a cave spider one, which is really helpful. And hopefully we might even be able to find a double one, because they're not too uncommon, which is good news. Now I've finally managed to connect up my base to the nether, so if you just hop on through this nether portal here, you'll see that we actually come out fairly close to the town nether portal. We're not really that far away at all. Here it is, and then if we just run down this tunnel here, you'll see that to the right, I think, is the town nether portal. So yeah, we are not far away whatsoever. There it is. So that means we can just rush over here. That's going to speed things up a little bit. Now I actually did get a couple of portals generate by accident, so we managed to pick up a little bit of obsidian, which means we have enough to make a portal way up in the sky above our mob farm so that we can go straight up there, AFK. It will spawn absolutely tons of mobs, and then we'll get all of their item drops. Now this has obviously been running while I've been working on the base down on the surface, and we've already got a little bit of drops. You know, we've got a little handful. It's not going too badly whatsoever, so I'm fairly happy with that. But obviously, once we get up there, we'll be able to get that many in no time. Massive thank you to Azuma Void, who just enchanted a pickaxe to me. Look at that. How awesome. What a great guy. So, huge thank you to that, because I kind of whined to him a little bit about how I was having trouble getting the XP, and he had 40 levels on him, so he decided to do a cheeky little enchantment, and that's what he got. So, huge thank you for giving that to me. That was lovely. So now we're going to crack on with the branch mine project. I'm just going to time-lapse it because I want to clear out as much area as possible. Like, I'm talking run down my pickaxe to the ground, then repair it, then run it down again, because that's what I'm into. So I'm going to get to work, and then I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so a couple of things have happened since you last saw me. We have done a little bit more work on the mob spawner area, and I'll show off that in a little bit, but I do just want to showcase all of the drops that we've got so far, so you can see that our bottom chest is now full, all of these hoppers are full, this chest is completely full, so's this, and now we are almost filling up this top chest, which means that we need to do something about storing these drops. I only AFK'd here for around about 5 hours last night, and I believe that quite a lot of people came on in that time, and that really does lower the rates. I didn't realise how much it actually does, but now I'm going to go up to the top part where I AFK, and I'll see you up there. So what I do is I just hop on through the nether. This nether portal takes me to my base, and then we have Mumbo's mob farm. We just hop on through here, and that will take us up right at the top, so that is where we can AFK. I've just got a very simple platform up here. This is my little box, so that in case any mobs somehow manage to spawn, they wouldn't kill me, because, you know, that would just be my luck. But yep, we just stand up here for a while, and then we are really high up in the sky. Let's take a look. You can just about see the mob spawner there, and then the ground is down beneath it, but we're not loading any other caves or the ground level there, so no mobs can spawn down there. They can only spawn in our mob spawner, and that means that we get really great rates in there, and just mobs are just spewing out the bottom of that thing. So now we're going to work on the sorting system to put all of those drops into sorted chests down at the bottom. So I'm going to gather up some resources, I'm going to see what we need for that, and then I'll catch you in a bit. Now, I've been playing around a little bit in my testing world to see what I could do about a chest area, and I want to have indicator lights for each of the chests so that when they fill up you'll know about that. So I've made this little mock-up area. It's based off Azuma Void's chest indicators. I was going to use my storage silos, but I like the look of all the chests here. I prefer Azuma Void's design to mine, but there it is. It's quite nice and simple. Actually, I've got a bit of a difference here. Those lights are meant to be on the inside. But yep, it looks pretty cool. I'm obviously not going to be using the iron. I'll probably use stone half slabs or more jungle wood, but I really like the way that this looks, so I'm going to go into my proper HermitCraft world, and we're going to start clearing out an area right in the middle. Down here is going to be where the branch mine is, so this 4x4 area here will be missing. That is where you will go down to the branch mine. We do have to decorate the way down there, and probably the area down at the bottom, just so that it all looks nice and it can function well. Now, first things first, we're going to have to clear out this area here. So we're going to have to clear out this pond and all of this dirt around here so we can get a nice perimeter going round. Now, if this is the center, that means that this giant area is actually going to have to go. I hadn't quite considered that. That's quite a lot of dirt to displace, so this is going to take a fairly long time, but hopefully we get a nice looking area once it's done. Now, around the outside, like the perimeter, is about 8 blocks away from the 2 middle blocks. So let's just try and work that out. This is 4x4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to come up to this point here. So we're going to have to clear out all of that area there. It shouldn't take that long, but it is quite a tedious project. So there we go, we have cleared out that area there. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave it looking like a ridge like this. That's just a temporary thing. Now, our chests are actually going to start around about this level. I think I'm only going to do it 4 high or 5 high. Maybe 6 was a little bit much, just because that will require a lot of resources. And also, I don't know, I don't feel like we need that much. That is quite a lot of storage to have, and all the other farms running into it, they're not going to produce as much as that one will be doing. So, yeah, I think we'll only need 4. We might actually start at that level. All that means is that we're going to have to do some terraforming round over on this side to hide all of the redstone and the storage. I'm going to look into doing that, but I think we're going to start at this height, and then obviously I'll have to, you know, make this place look a lot nicer. So plenty more has been done on the chest area. You can see they are all around here. It's looking pretty cool. It's not quite as nice as my old design, I'll say that right now. It's a lot more square, it's not as round, and there's certainly not as many chests, but you know what? I still think this looks pretty good. It will definitely cater for all our needs, because we'll have one chest for the gunpowder, bones, arrows, and God, what's the other one? Spider. String, there we go. We're not going to be keeping the zombie flesh as I just mentioned. Now all of these other chests are available for other farms. I am going to be making a red and yellow flower farm, and that will come with seeds, so we'll basically be filled up before we know it. And then I guess we could have a stone, dirt and cobblestone chest at some point, so we could allocate all of these areas straight away off the bat. But now we need to start wiring up all of the hoppers. Now that's going to be the most fun part in my opinion. And yeah, I'm just going to start making them. We're going to need to get a little bit more wood to do that because hoppers do require a hell of a lot of wood. But once we're all there, then we can start sorting out these items. Now believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of wood. I never thought I'd be saying that after, what, a week and a half from deforesting this jungle? Jeez, okay, so we've got just over a full stack of hoppers. That should be enough to get the items down and into some form of item sorter. Then we're going to have to cut down a couple of trees so that they can run into these chests. But yep, we're going to go up there, we're going to pillar up with the hoppers, and we're going to start running the items down into the ground. This really isn't as hard as it seems. You just hold space and shift and you seem to go right the way up here. But now we are going to reach the top. Here we are. And let's just take this out. We're going to place a block over here. Trying to be as careful as possible so that I don't, like, break something. Now, all of the items are going to flow out of this bottom chest and into the hoppers. So you should see those flowing through now. Great. It's going a little bit slower than I expected. There we go. They're coming through. So that is awesome. Now we're just going to take out this block. We're going to fall into our water drop. Nice. And now onto our item sorter. Might as well run you through this, seeing as sort of what I do. So we're just going to run this line of blocks along here. These are all going to have torches on them, which now I can't access. Damn it, survival is so much more difficult. And then you just want to place redstone torches all the way across here. You know, I've gone into tutorial mode immediately. That is quite insane. And then we're going to run repeaters, those are comparators, into each of these blocks here. Now this is a fairly small item sorter. You can actually sort out all the items in the game into one giant storage area. I don't know if I ever want to get on to do one of those, even though it would be pretty cool. And now finally, we're on to our last bit already. Just going to place redstone all the way across here. And then comparators running out of all of these hoppers. Give me a minute. There we go. They seem to have all lit up, which isn't good. That means there's some items in these. So, yep, you can see those are there. You know what? I need to stop this from happening. I don't know why so many items are flowing into this system. Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. Okay. My buffer didn't work. I thought I powered a hopper. Alright. Well, it seems that all the items have flown in, which is exactly what I didn't want to happen. And that's just from a mistake from earlier. The item sorter will work, but that's just really annoying. I'm going to have to go up here and sort out this problem. I'm just going to destroy one of the hoppers, because it seems that all the items are just flowing through. Wow! Oh, wow, there was loads of items in that hopper. Okay. Don't know what I'm going to do about that. Oh, I've had a bit of a mess here. Now, if we take a look at this hopper setup, this is what we've got. So we have got our string. God, I always forget what that's called somehow. So we've got string in the first one, and then we have bones in this one. These are going to be the two center chests. So we've got these chests here are going to be bones, and then this one is going to be our gunpowder. So that will go into this set of chests. And then we have the arrows that will go into those chests over there. And our zombie flesh will go into some lava because no one likes it. So, yep, that is what we're going to do. And I believe this should be us done. So I am going to hook up these hopper lines here. Hopefully nothing breaks in that time. And we're going to throw in a couple of items into these hoppers up here. So let's see if I've got any on me. Yep, I've got some gunpowder. So we should see that it will be sent down into the correct area. Yes! That looks like it's working. Our gunpowder is travelling along this line and is going into our chest. Awesome. So I thought it might be best to do a quick stress test of it. So we're going to throw in a full stack of gunpowder. Let's run down to our chest here and see if it's all flowing in. There we go. You can see it's happening. It's just gunpowder flowing in. If I throw in a different type of item, for example bones, which you also have set up. Let's do that real quick. So we'll just throw in some bones and then we'll switch that up, and hopefully we should see that the gunpowder will stop flowing in. There we go. And our bones will begin to go in. There it is. Now that zombie flesh is from earlier. Ignore that. But, yep, it seems to be working like a charm. So I've done a little bit more work on the item sorter since you last saw me. I have now wired up all of our chests, so you can see we have a bit of a complicated line of hoppers going on around here, but I know exactly what's going on. However, it is getting harder and harder to understand, especially with walking on these things, because they make you go absolutely mental. But that one over there, that is the string one. You can see we have the hopper line going all the way across here, and then into that sorter, and then this one comes into this chest, and this is the bones, and then we have gunpowder there, and we have the arrows in that chest over there. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not going to be doing anything with the zombie flesh, but we do need a way to dispose of it. We can't just keep it, because that will back up through the system and it will just break everything, and that would be very bad. So I'm going to try and work out how I'm going to do this. Will probably be by using a rapid fire dispenser into some lava. I think that's what I'll end up doing, but I would like to find out a more efficient way of doing it, because I don't want to be running a clock all of the time. Now, I seem to remember Cube Hamster uploading a video on a dispenser that will only fire when it's got items in it, and that will be absolutely perfect, because that means that, yeah, we could just fire the zombie meat into a lava pile and move on with our lives, I guess. So we've got our dropper clock set up. You can see it here. This is the mechanism, and it's really simple and it works very nicely. So you can see there's no clock running here, there's no redstone updating, so that means that there's no lag. But if we put a couple of items in, then it will start to rapid fire dispense them. Now, I will just put a lava pool underneath this, because I don't want to have loads and loads of items about the place. That could cause a couple of issues. However, what I was thinking is I could have like a hopper down here and then a double chest, so that if, for whatever reason, Mojang decide to make zombie flesh important, allow it to do something that it can't do before, then I'll still have a double chest full of it, and then all the rest will go into lava or something like that. So I just got told to go to spawn by a Zoomovoid because he's built a cow farm, and I gotta tell you, this thing is absolutely amazing. First off, we've got the big old cow face here. That looks really cool, but then we hit this button, his mouth will open up, and we are in this absolutely gorgeous room. This is the kind of thing that I want to recreate in my base area, because, you know, we're going for the jungly theme. Yeah, we want to be doing something a lot like this. This looks great. I really like this canopy style ceiling. We've got, you know, the cocoa beans on the walls. Oh, it looks so good. It really does look amazing, and it's a great addition to spawn. I'm super happy that he did it. Apparently it took a while, and you can see he's put the effort in, and it looks awesome. I am over the moon with how cool that looks, so I'll be using that quite often. And then also, we've had another addition to the spawn area in the form of Corrales' house. It's good to see him back. Wow, you can see that he is a good builder. He's just plonked that straight down. That's the first thing that he's done. And there it is. It looks absolutely great. So I'll be heading back to spawn in the next episode, but for the minute we're going to be staying over at my base, because there's still a couple of things I need to get sorted. Now, our item sorter is entirely done. It's got everything wired up. All of the hoppers are flowing into the right chests, and all of the items are going in. They're all coming in from the proper mob spawner here. We've got quite a backup, so that no, this isn't the actual rates of the mob spawner. If it was, then that would be quite impressive. But yeah, at the minute the arrows are going in. We've had a couple of other ones go in, so you can see we've got the string over here. In fact, I've got a ton of string in my inventory. And yeah, I'm extremely happy with this. It means that I don't have to worry about any of these items. It used to be with a mob spawner that you'd have to like wait at the bottom and have all the items flow towards you, and then you'd fill up your inventory, quickly rush off to a chest, place all the items in there, or if you wanted it to be sorted, then you had to place it in all the different chests, then run back over there to pick up the drops, and it really was quite a stressful thing. Whereas now, I can just sit back, relax, and let this machine do it all for me. So this has been a very good project. Now the next thing that we're going to have to do is set up our chest indicators to show off how much is in the chest, because once these guys fill up, they'll start to back up through the hoppers, and if they get too far back, then they will begin to mess up the actual sorting system, which would be very, very bad, as I'm sure you can tell. So hopefully we can stop that from happening by having these chest indicators up the sides that will then warn us when we get to a certain height. So I'm going to gather up all of the materials required to do that, and then I'll catch you in a bit. I don't know why, but the zombie pigmen are aggro at me, and I have done absolutely nothing. And I think Azuma might have punched one of them and then left, which has meant that they're all really pissed off, and that one there is going to kill me. God damn it! I don't know what to do! Oh no, he's not actually coming for me, is he? Is he annoyed at me? Oh. One of them was definitely hitting me. Maybe I was just going insane. I don't know. Yep, going insane. I think it's safe to say that didn't quite go to plan. I got straight into the nether and died. Didn't even get any glowstone. Oh, I hate the nether so much. I just got completely destroyed by a ghast. Ugh. We're going to need 40 glowstone to do this. And that's quite a lot. And everyone has got all of the glowstone next to spawn. Like literally, I think in about a 300 block radius, everyone has got the glowstone. I didn't see any while I was there. All I saw were just loads of ghasts. So I don't know how I'm going to go about doing this. I don't know if King Happy has got his witch farm set up yet. If he has, then that will be perfect. That means that we can actually do this. If not, then I'm just going to have to head into the nether and hope for the best. I also lost a load of my armor to the fire, which is just annoying. Basically, it just was a rubbish trip, and I feel a little bit pathetic, really. So we finally have enough glowstone to do this project. That took a much longer time than I was expecting, if I'm going to be quite frankly honest. I am just awful when it comes to combat or anything like that. My bow shot is miles off. Now I've got to charge across this with 49 glowstone on me and my best diamond pickaxe. Hopefully that goes well. Right, we made it there. Hopefully we can make it back to home turf in one piece. If not, not going to be particularly happy. But yes, we are all good to go as far as getting these lamps in. I'm very excited for this because this is like the finishing touch, the nice little extra part that we're going to be doing at the end. I mean, we've had all the complex stuff in the item sorter and all the craziness with the hoppers and trying to get all those resources. That went well. Now it's kind of a little bit of a respite and trying to make it look fancy and nice and usable. Hopefully I've got enough blocks to get out of here. That's another good point. So, yep, I'm going to head back to my base and I'll see you there. Okay, so I've done a little bit more on our storage area. We have now got it freshly decorated, even thrown in a couple of iron blocks in there. Yep, this used half a stack of them. Don't know whether it was a good use yet or not. Depends on how many hoppers I need to make in the future. Then again, we do have a fully sustainable resource of it. In fact, I might head over to the iron farm in a little bit, see if I can pick up some more, because we do need a couple more hoppers in the future. But I really like the way that this place looks. It looks pretty fresh and open. The only design flaw that I have is that I can't actually get in and out of it. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I don't know what I'm going to do there. Do you guys have any suggestions on that? I don't know. I'd quite like to hear them because that would be helpful. My first thought was to put vines on these, but I don't know. That would kind of ruin the pristine new look, wouldn't it? It wouldn't look as kind of fresh and clean, so I don't know if I want to do that. I could, I suppose, take out these chests here and then have a doorway. In fact, I might end up doing that, but that still only leaves us with one entry and exit, and I wanted to make this like a center point, but we're not going to be able to do that anymore, so I'm going to have to think that one through. I think the doorway idea is actually quite good. I suppose we could have like another kind of half center point over here. But then again, it goes into a big old mound of dirt. So that's quite tough because of the way that we've placed this. So I guess the only realistic exit is out over the top, which is, well, this is a lot more difficult to think through than I was expecting. That's annoying. Right, so I think we've got ourselves a bit of a fix here, and it doesn't look too bad. We've just put a doorway in, then we've made these one wide chests. I don't think that these are going to have sorters running into each of them. These are the only two that will have extra sorters in, and they will be for, I guess, red and yellow flowers or something like that. These chests here can be for cobblestone and dirt. I will be working on like a proper storage area that will probably go down below here, like in one of these compartments, then split off in various directions. This is just literally the storage area for the mob spawner. In fact, what I am thinking is we could have like bumper storage, just in case things get pretty wild and we have to really start filling everything in. But yeah, this looks okay. I mean, the staircase is a temporary fix, I guess, until I can think of something better, but it will do for now, that's for sure. It doesn't look too shabby, so I'm fairly happy with it. Now I've done the tiniest amount of work on this little area just to make it look a bit better. You can see that we have got the cobblestone around here simply because I'm trying to fit it in with the jungly theme. So eventually we're going to get some jungle wood, we're going to get some cocoa beans around here, and it's going to look a lot better because I evaluated what I had done and it didn't look very jungly at all, and compared to this mob spawner we really need that to look jungly. So that is what I'm going to be getting to work on, but unfortunately that is all I have got time for today's episode. This one has taken absolutely ages to record and I literally have no time left. It is the Friday, I've got to upload this on Sunday, and YouTube has been being very weird recently with my HermitCraft videos. Just don't seem to be playing well or anything like that. So I want to get this up nice and early, so hopefully you have a good video to enjoy. But please remember, if you did enjoy this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.